Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the third week of the Woodstock Academy Live Spring Sideline Scoop. My name is Kaylee Saucier.
And I'm Timozy.
Every Friday morning, we will bring you the latest updates from the world of spring sports. As most teams have reached the halfway point of their seasons, we hope the Centaurs will be able to compete in postseason tournament play. For now, we continue to recap the spring sports regular season, and today we welcome special guests from both the softball and boys volleyball teams.
The Woodstock Academy girls lacrosse team now sits at 3-6 and is just finishing up arguably their busiest week of the season. Last Thursday, the Centaurs found the going difficult against the Eastline Vikings as they lost to the host. Claire Dowdle had the only goal for the Centaurs off Kaylee Saucier, my broadcast partner, assist. After the tough loss, there was no time to hang their heads as they had to compete in 3 games already this week. On Monday, the Centaurs hosted Montville and had to battle both the Heat and the Wolves. Unfortunately, the Centaurs were down 10-3, but Bailey Rosinski, Saucier, and Maggie Marshall all scored while Dowdle added 2 assists. With no time in between, they hosted the Stonington Bears on Tuesday for the annual Lax to Live game. Dowdle had 2 goals and an assist, while Saucier and Abby Converse got the other tallies. Marshall added another assist. Although the score did not reflect a victory for the Centaurs, post-game they were able to hear from Paul Daigle, who was an advocate for suicide prevention and mental health awareness, specifically for student athletes. Yesterday was senior day for MJ Castaneda, Kaylin Tremblay, Maggie Marshall, Abby Converse, and Abby Houle. They hosted Killingly in their second meeting of the season, who was previously their first win back on April 5th. This time, the Centaurs found even more success, outscoring Killingly 7-2. Saucier had 2 goals and 2 assists, while Converse added 2 goals. To cap off their week, the girls lacrosse team plays tomorrow morning at Ledyard at 10 a.m.
This week, the boys lacrosse team has faced off against Stonington and Montville so far. On Tuesday, they went to Stonington, and it was a close game until the fourth quarter when the Bears went up 5 and the Centaurs lost 12-7. The leading scorers were Gunnar Bassick with 2 goals and 4 assists, and Dylan Phillips with 2 goals and an assist. Yesterday, they headed to Montville to face off against the Wolves. The Centaurs won 16-8, with Bassick leading the way with 5 goals and 1 assist. Corey LaFont had 3 goals and 3 assists, while Phillips added 2 goals and 2 assists. The boys' team will play tomorrow morning at Norwich Tech at 10 a.m. and are going in with an overall record of 3-5.
The girls' track team has been undefeated so far and looks to continue that streak for the 3rd year in a row. Juliet Allard recently earned another Woodstock Academy school outdoor track record. Allard participated independently at the Southern Connecticut State University, finishing 400 meters in 56.93 seconds, earning nationals qualifications. The team competed on Wednesday against Fitch, earning a 105-44, and came out victorious against the Falcons. Isabella De Leva Bochain won the 800-meter javelin and was also a member of the winning 4x400 meter relay, alongside Juliet Allard, who won the 300-meter hurdles and the 200-meter, Elise Coyle, who won the 400-meter and long jump, and Olivia Tracy, who also took part in the winning 4x800 team. Avery Plouffe was the best in shot put, Ella Ladonde won the triple jump, and Finley Cyphers took the pole vault, and Lily Morgus was the winner in discus. The girls are definitely looking strong this season and have a high chance of grabbing the ECC title.
The boys' track team had a close match, but Fitch came away with a 75-65 win on Wednesday. Once again, Owen Williamson took both the 110-meter and 300-meter hurdles for the Centaurs, getting first place in both. Christian Menounos had a new personal record in the 400-meter. Colton Saloom took first in the 1600, and freshman Lucas Hecker won the 3200. On the field, Eli Manning won the javelin and shot put. The boys' track team now sits at 1-2 for the season. It is time to hear from Emma Whitenick, who will discuss the Woodside Academy softball team, and we'll hear from Coach Hannah Burgess, Senior Maddie Bloom, and Junior Ellery Sampson.
Thank you. Today I'll be talking about the girls softball team. They currently sit at a 5-5 record. They had a game this last Tuesday against NFA, but unfortunately the Centaurs were on the wrong side of a 17-0 score. Ellery Sampson had the only 2 hits of the game for the Centaurs. They then headed back out to the field to play St. Bernard on Wednesday, coming away with a 4-0 win. Campbell Favreau added an RBI to back the pitching of Grace Del Santo, who went the distance and delivered a 6-hit shutout. The Centaurs head back out to play Killingly tomorrow at 1 p.m. I will now start with Coach Burgess. How do you feel about the team's performance so far?
I feel really optimistic about our performance so far. Being at 5-5 is really exciting since we're only 3 games away from states to make the postseason, and especially coming off of a 4-0 win after 17-0 shutout is really exciting for our game tomorrow versus Killingly, who we desperately want to win.
What goals have we met and what goals are still ahead?
I think already sitting at 5 wins is really exciting, and just making the goal of states is what we're up against now.
What are you doing to keep the team motivated and focused?
Having practices that are set with hitting, running, fielding at all times, and then also now that we're about halfway through the season and we get to play these teams again, some of our tough losses, like going extra innings with Killingly and then playing them tomorrow, is really getting us focused. And then also only having 3 games away from states is definitely keeping our focus and motivation.
Now for Ellery and Maddie, how do you feel about your performance so far this season?
Me personally, I feel very good about my performance. My hitting and my fielding have both improved since last season.
I feel pretty good. One goal I had this season was to do better hitting and be there for my team and get on base, and I think I've done a pretty good job of doing that.
What's one area you want to keep improving on?
As a catcher, I want to improve on my throwdowns to second base because a lot of people have stolen on me so far.
I also still want to keep improving on my hitting because I know I have a lot more that I can do and just trying to get runners in to keep the score going.
Ellery, how important is team chemistry on the softball field?
Communication is the biggest factor on our team. With our team being so young and some of our seniors and juniors still there, we make a goal to communicate a lot.
Maddie, what are some of the team's goals for this season?
We definitely have a goal of going to states. Last year we only came out with 6 wins, so I definitely think that's our top goal is to get more than 6 wins, make it a run in states.
Thank you, Coach Burgess, Maddie, and Ellery for joining us today.
Thank you, Emma and the softball team. Next, Tim will talk about the Woodstock Academy baseball team.
The baseball team got back to their winning ways on Tuesday with a 14-0 win over Putnam Turtle Rock Co-op. Will Bushy got his first win of the season, and Caleb Semino led the team with 4 hits, and Tanner Graham also had 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Hayden Maloney, Kyle Griss, and Colin Erickson all also drove in 2 runs. On Wednesday, the baseball team played NFA on the road and were able to put out a 10-2 win. Matt Hernandez drove in 3 runs, and Bushy added a 2-run double. Wade Erickson picked up his second win on the mound, pitching 6 innings and allowing just 3 hits, along with 13 strikeouts. And the baseball team is now 4-5 on the season.
This past week, the boys tennis team had a match against Lyman Memorial where they won 4-3. Heath White and Caden Worth won their doubles match in a 2-set victory, while Owen Murdoch and Daniel Jamison won their doubles match in 3 sets. Adriano Paniche and Ashley Abrams each won their singles matches. Yesterday, they won 7-0 versus NFA with a complete sweep of singles and doubles. All 4 singles and doubles won 2-0. They look to carry the momentum into next week when the boys have 4 matches against New London, Waterford, Montville, and St. Bernard Wheeler. In addition, the girls softball team improved to 5-3 with its second victory in 2 days. On Tuesday, they found themselves in a tie for the lead of the ECC Division II with a 4-3 victory over Ledyard. Winterworth posted a 7-5, 6-3 win at first singles, and Gianna Musamichi was a 6-2, 6-4 winner at second singles. Abby Budd and Linnea Barlow captured a victory at first doubles, as did Catherine Trudeau and Delilah Kesselman at second singles. On Wednesday, the Centaurs swept the singles with Worth and Kerrigan Reynolds both finishing with 6-0 wins. Kate Bruce and Madeline Eade had the toughest battle at third doubles as they survived for a 6-7, 6-4, and 10-7 marathon win.
Now we will turn it over to junior Liliana Morin, who will dive into boys volleyball and talk to head coach Adam Batone, as well as a few key players on their team this spring.
Thank you. Today I will be talking about the boys volleyball team and their season. The boys volleyball team had been one of the new additions added to the Woodstock Academy spring sports. Last season was their first season as a sport here at the Woodstock Academy, and they finished with a strong 10-12 record, and this season the boys are starting strong with an 8-3 record. This week the boys traveled to Hartford to play SMSA on Monday and won 3-2, winning the decisive set 15-12. This Wednesday, they also traveled to Cheney Tech and picked up their 8th win, which helped them qualify for the Class M state tournament. Today, they also have a home game against Capital Prep at 4:30. Let's start with you, Coach. Being one of the newer sports offered here, how do you think the sport has grown from last year?
It's grown because it's one of the biggest youth sports in America right now. The coaching is fantastic here, so that's why a lot of people come out for it too. It's just a fun sport to be a part of. I think the more people realize the excitement behind it, the more people are going to, want to play and get behind it.
This season, you lost a couple seniors like Aiden Finch, Cade Jones, and TJ Osborne, who had been big contributors to the team. How have you guys been recovering from losing them?
So a lot of the guys on the team, the varsity team this year, played last year and have a lot of experience. Several of them play club year-round. So with that, there really hasn't been much of a drop-off. I think the knowledge of the sport and how they play and their understanding of it has helped also to, keep things rolling in a positive direction.
Lastly, tonight you will be hosting Capital Prep. What are some key strategies that you plan on focusing on during the game?
Staying mentally strong, mentally positive, I think is a really big area for us right now that we need to improve on. So if we can do that while maintaining some good quality serving and terminating the ball when we put it over the net, that'll get us back on track for our goals that we have this year.
How happy are you to have already qualified for the state tournament with the win on Wednesday?
Very happy. Midway through the season, I think this is game 11 or 12 tonight for us. So being able to get it so early in the season is, it's a feather in the cap, and we just got to keep plugging away and make sure we continue to have success.
Thank you, Coach. Let's move on to Braden Batone. On Monday, you guys had to play 5 sets. What was going on during your mind in the moments like that, and how do you get to stay focused?
Going to 5 sets, especially against a team that's competitive, is really stressful for a lot of the people. So it's really just making sure that the error that you just made on the point before doesn't impact how you play for the rest of the set.
This season, you are starting strong with 103 kills and 86 digs. How do you think you have improved from last year?
I think my hitting has gotten a lot better since right now I'm at 103 kills, and then at the end of last season I already had 102, so I still have 2 times. I'm only halfway there, and I've already met what I had last year, so I think it's gotten a lot better.
Lastly, do you have any goals that you're trying to reach this season, and how are you going to achieve them?
Just the same goals that our whole team has, which is to win the league tournament and then move pretty far in the state tournament. I think just by communicating and just being there for each other is going to be what gets us there.
Thank you, Brendan. Let's move on to Nathan. What do you think team chemistry means, and how important is it in volleyball?
For volleyball, it's kind of, you can't play the sport alone. It's a unit almost. So we do a lot of team dinners and then team bonding things so that we can all really get along and keep a good attitude throughout practice and games.
Being one of the only seniors on the team, do you feel you have any strong leadership roles?
I would say that they're not super strong leadership roles because we do not do a captain because we all work together as one. But definitely keeping a positive attitude and having the right mindset through practices and games because it affects the entire team.
This is your senior year. Do you plan on continuing to play the sport in the future?
I have yet to decide. I'm definitely interested in continuing, but that's still something that's up for debate for me.
Thank you guys for coming in, and good luck tonight.
Woodstock Academy boys golf team is now sitting at 3-2. Last week, senior Logan Rawson led the Centaurs with a stellar 1 under par 34, earning medalist honors and propelling the team to a dominant 7-0 win. Unfortunately, on Tuesday, the boys golf team faced a tough challenge at Norwich Golf Course, managing just 1 win and a 6-1 loss to Norwich Free Academy. Max Kopp secured the lone victory for the Centaurs. Yesterday, the Centaurs headed out to Wyndham Golf Course, where they won 160 to 185. And Logan Rawson shot at 37, Aiden O'Connor carded a 39, and Jaden Fuller had a 41 on the day.
The girls' golf team is now 4-4 and got to play on their home course at the Quinnitissit Country Club for the first time this season on Thursday, April 24th. They won against Suffield 206-213 in a non-league match, with sophomore Reagan Scheck leading the way with a 45 and senior Bella Mawson adding a 52. This Monday at the Crestview Golf Club in Suffield, they won with a 223-230. Scheck finished with a 48 and junior Lily Moran carded a 54. Wednesday, the girls had a tri-match and unfortunately lost to NFA in Coventry. Scheck shot a 44, Moran had a 47, and Mawson walked away with a 51. Their next match is on Monday against Stonington at 3 p.m.
Whether it be on the track, course, diamond, field, or the court, the Woodstock Academy Centaurs are working hard to represent themselves, their team, and their school well.
That is all we have for you today. Thank you for tuning in to the Woodstock Academy Live Spring Sideline Scoop. Have a great rest of your day.